Subtext is an underlying message, theme, or meaning that is not explicitly expressed on the page. Pretty simple, right? There are many, many different ways to do this, and even the examples that I'm going to give today are not all the ways that subtext can be used. But we're going to start with this example. This is from Fighting Words by Kimberly Brubaker Bradley. I'm going to give you a little bit of context for this. This scene happens at the beginning of the book. Della and Suki are sisters. They're in foster care. They've just arrived at their new foster home with their new foster mother, Francine. At this point in the book, we don't know why they've been removed from their previous home and why they've been placed with Francine. We don't know that yet. And the narrator is Della. She's 10. So this is how it goes. I only take girls, she said. That's Francine speaking. Mostly old enough to do their own thing. 2 at a time when I can. She stubbed her cigarette out on the edge of her plate. I used to have a roommate, but it was Snow. Snow is a replacement word for shit in this book. It's very, Kimberly Brubaker Bradley is amazing. I used to have a roommate, but it was Snow, having to deal with people who never quite come up with their share of the bills. I thought, give me roommates where the state pays their share, and that'll be easier. Usually it is. She lit another cigarette. Now going to court? Prosecuting? Suki nodded. She leaned over and slid a cigarette out of Francine's pack. So notice right there, she says, y'all going to court, prosecuting, right? There's subtext there because now we know a crime has been committed. And because she says prosecuting, we know that the crime has been committed against the girls. Francine smacked her hand. Nope. She said, you're underage. I don't contribute to the delinquency of minors. Plus, trust me, you wish you'd never started. I do. So you've got clothes and we'll figure out about the school laptop. What else you need? Phones, Suki said. Clifton smashed hers. It was pretty new too. Clifton hadn't finished paying for it. So now we have another subtext. Clifton smashed Suki's phone. Remember, we don't know why or what happened yet, right? Francine shook her head. Not my problem. You want one, get a job. Della's 10, Suki said. She can't. Francine shrugged. She's 10. She don't need a phone, neither do you. I got a landline in that family room. Use that. Seriously? Suki looked annoyed. I said, we did too need Suki's phone. Francine and Suki looked at me. Francine said, don't worry. You're safe here. Suki laughed. Yeah, right. So I want to talk about what's happening because subtext is all about what's not happening on the page, what's not being said, which is sometimes just as important as what is being said. So I want to talk about what's happening between we did too need Suki's phone and Francine and Suki looked at me. Francine said, don't worry, you're safe here. Now, at this point, Bradley had a choice. She could have elaborated after we did too need Suki's phone. She could have given us a paragraph explaining exactly what happened and why Suki's phone was destroyed. But she chooses not to do that. Instead, she chooses to jump to the next paragraph, which is Francine and Suki looking at her, at Della, and Francine saying, don't worry, you're safe here. So the question I want to present to you is why? Why did she make that choice? Why is there nothing between we did too need Suki's phone and Francine and Suki looked at me? Why does she not elaborate there? What's happening? Yes, Melanie.
It raises curiosity to propel the reader forward to wonder why. Why didn't they use the phone?
Yes, it raises curiosity, intrigue to propel the reader forward. Yes, Meep?
But also everyone in this conversation knows the thing about their phone.
Yes, everyone in this conversation knows what happened to the phone and why, but there's a narrator telling the story and the reader doesn't know. So why does she choose to withhold it from the reader? Tiffany.
She's not ready to confront it. She doesn't bring it up until way later.
Yes, she's not ready. She being Della, she herself, especially those of, if you've read the book, you know that she is not ready to confront. She knows what happened, obviously. She's not ready to confront the trauma. She's keeping it at arm's length. She's keeping distance. What else? Monica.
Well, so Bradley does a thing in the book where she's like, I'm gonna get to the hard stuff, but I'm not there yet.
Yes.
We're gonna get to it and I'm gonna be with you, but we're not there yet. So this isn't a part of the book where she's not even ready to talk about the hard stuff.
Correct.
So I think she's taking care not only of Della, but of the child reader.
Yes.
Like, you're gonna get this slowly and carefully when Della is ready to tell you.
Yes. So Monica said she's There is a technique that Bradley uses in the book where Della tells us something happened, but I'm not ready to tell you yet. It's very voicey. The book is very infused with voice. So we know that there's something that she's not ready to talk about. Ricky.
Well, when she stayed here, that just scared me really bad.
Yes.
And so that like makes us sharing their fear. Because, you know, we're all of us, we're right there.
We share in their fear because she says, don't worry, you're safe here. Now we know a few things. We know that a criminal happened against the girls. Clifton smashed Suki's phone and they were unsafe before. And we know from Suki's response, yeah, right. That tells us a lot about their history, Suki and Della's history. But another thing that I want to bring up is what, from a reader experience, from the relationship between the reader and the narrator, you're building a relationship, right? That's what we're all doing in our books. If Bradley had revealed early on what exactly happened, how would that affect our relationship with the reading material? What does Bradley gain from a reading experience perspective by withholding that information from us until the end? Mary.
Well, she's trusting us to put stuff together on her own.
Yes.
She doesn't feel like she's got to feed us everything. And sometimes to trust the reader to do the work is a really good thing.
Yes, Bradley, and that's a key thing with Subtext is Bradley shows so much trust in her young readers. She trusts and trusts in herself as a writer that we will understand the subtext of what's going on without having her to explicitly explain it. But I would also argue that the big reveal, which we kind of anticipate when you're reading the book, right? You kind of anticipate what's coming. If we let go of those really vital pieces of emotional gems that are happening in our characters' lives, if we release it too early, we're giving up impact. Because the fact of the matter is we're still getting to know Della. So if you think about, you walk into a cocktail party, let's say you walk into a party and someone walks up to you and they're like, hey, my name is John and here's my life story and every terrible thing that's happened to me. You're like, okay, that's sad, but I don't really care because I don't even know who you are, right? But in this case, we're getting to know Della. The more we get to know her, the more we love her, the more we want to take care of her. Or if we're a young reader, the more we want to talk to her, be friends with her, right? We want to know her. So once we know her, when we do find out that traumatic thing that happened to her, it has so much more emotional impact than if we know it at the beginning. So one of the skills of writing is to know what information to withhold and when to reveal it for the most emotional impact.